Hey, thank you so much for clicking on this video. My name is Olivia, and I'm a gender-affirming voice teacher and singing teacher. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing some ways that you can connect with your authentic and unique singing voice. As singers, we all look up to the singers that we admire, right? If you might admire Beyonce or Adele or whoever you're listening to at the time. And imitation can be an absolutely great way to start. It can help you to work on phrasing. It can help you really connect with the emotional piece of the song. But ultimately, that's kind of not where the voice journey needs to end. The truth is that the most sort of compelling singers are the ones that are really unique, that really sing authentically and don't sound like anybody else. They're the singers who really innovate and bring something new and exciting to their performances. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing 7 tips to help you develop a truly unique singing voice. So let's get started. Number 1 is to embrace your natural sound. So before you can kind of develop your voice, you have to have an understanding of your own natural voice as it is. So that means kind of understanding what your basic range is, your pitch range, what the color of your voice sounds like. So you might hear your voice as breathy, you might hear your voice as big, you might hear your voice as raspy, or, any number of words you can use to describe the voice. So instead of starting with imitation, you can start by sort of laying your voice bare. So you can put a recorder on and sing a little bit and really get a sense as you listen back to what your natural vocal quality is like. What stands out to you? Do you hear a warm sound, a rich sound, or is it a thinner, more airy sound? There's nothing bad or good about any of these sounds. There's simply different styles of voices. So if you have a little bit smaller, airier voice, you can definitely work on making your sound more rich, but you might not have a voice that's just naturally going to carry and have a big boomy voice at the end of your journey. So there is something to kind of working with what you naturally have and exploring and celebrating some of your natural qualities. So once you have a sense of what that is, you can then go on to explore how you want to start to maybe manipulate that or work on that or develop that, or what kinds of things you really want to lean into. Number 2 is experimenting with different genres. So you might be a singer who gravitates towards musical theater, let's say, and you've been singing a ton of musical theater songs, and you maybe have never really experienced what it's like to sing a jazz standard. So giving yourself the opportunity to sing a jazz standard or to sing some R&B or some rock or a classical piece, putting yourself a little bit out of your comfort zone might show you some aspects of your voice that you didn't even know was there. Every genre has its own sort of vocal techniques and phrasing and little different things that really make that genre unique. So by exploring different genres, you can explore these different skills and trying to do these different things and kind of uncover what feels natural to you. Number 3 is focusing on emotion and authenticity. So at the heart of a unique voice is its authenticity. Your voice is not just a sound. It's a vehicle for you to express what's inside. It's a way for you to express feelings, share experiences, show your personality. So it's important not to just sing the notes and rhythms. And even if those notes and rhythms are kind of work within the genre, it's really important to connect with what you are singing. What are the words that you are sharing? And what's the message of the song? So before you sing a song, take a deep dive into the lyrics. Maybe say them aloud to yourself, read them aloud, and really listen to what that story is. See if there's a way that you can put yourself in that story, as though there's a way that you can really deeply connect with what's happening. So when you're in the moment of singing the song, that presence of being in the story can really come through. And there's a little something, little magic that happens that maybe we can't put our finger on exactly when somebody's truly being authentic, when it doesn't feel kind of square or awkward, when it just feels like you can see that this singer is telling you a story. So do you want to convey vulnerability? Do you want to convey, strength or sadness or joy? Whatever the case may be, connect with that emotion and the story behind the lyrics. The more honest and connected you are to this, the more honest your vocal presentation will be. Number 4 is playing with vocal techniques. While you do not need to master every single vocal technique of every single genre ever created, it is cool to explore some of the different techniques and play around with them. One technique you could play around with would be dynamics. So being loud or being soft. So you might have noticed in songs when there's sort of like a climax, when there's a really loud part, maybe at the bridge or in the middle of the song, and then maybe it comes back down quiet at the end. So those shifts in dynamics can really make an impact and can really sort of drive home some of that authenticity. It can really drive home like the most emotional part of the story, or it can just make the song sound a little bit more interesting. Some other things you could play around with is vibrato. So a straight tone might sound like ah, with vibrato might be ah. So you can play around with having some vibrato, having less, depending on the style and depending on what you're going for. Other things like in pop music, you could be doing runs or riffs, kind of moving quickly, melodically, or you can also adjust the tone quality of your voice. So you can adjust like how dark, how big or small your space is in your mouth. Oh, change some of those positions to give you some different types of sound qualities. Number 5 is to draw inspiration without imitation. So we all have our favorite singers, of course. And so it's really awesome when you can hear some of that influence in another singer. You see that in visual art, in film, in writing, in books. This influence based on what other artists are doing at the time. So there's nothing wrong with that. However, if you are just doing a carbon copy, if you're just, an Elvis Presley impersonator, that's a different story. So I think that, there's a time and a place for that. Of course, if you're going to be an Elvis Presley impersonator, then yeah, you do want to do an imitation. But I think that it's important to kind of break down what are some of the things that you like about the singer that you like. And if you can incorporate some of those things, you can kind of, get some of those stylistic things going in your own voice without doing just an imitation. Number 6 is working with a vocal coach. So having a second set of ears to give you a little guidance on this path can be really helpful, especially somebody who's well versed in vocal techniques and in different genres so that you are able to sort of explore. So if you're interested in some private lessons, you can go down to the link in the description, click there to sign up for a lesson. And number 7 is to trust the process. Okay, so this is the kind of thing that doesn't just happen overnight. You don't feel like super settled into your authentic, unique voice in 2 days. This can be a process over a lifetime, really, over decades, where you are discovering your own sound. This process requires trial and error and patience and plenty of practice. And sometimes it just takes the time to just kind of be okay with you, to kind of not feel like you're competing with anybody and just feel like, I'm okay in my body. I'm okay in my life. I can be me. I can let myself just use my voice. It doesn't have to be, I feel like we get really stuck in these, comparison traps. And at a certain point in life, maybe you'll get to a point where you just say, you know what? This is me. And this is amazing that this is me, because nobody else is like me. Just like any other part of your identity, it's always going to be changing, developing, and growing. So you can kind of sit back and enjoy the process. So remember, your voice is not like anybody else's, and that is what we like about it, okay? So really lean into discovering your own voice. By embracing your natural sound, exploring different styles, and staying true to the emotion behind your songs, you will develop a style that is uniquely yours. Your unique voice seriously deserves to be heard. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope this video was helpful. Please let me know down in the comments what you thought, if you have any questions or thoughts. Thank you so much for watching, and I will look forward to seeing you in the next video.